Hey everybody, welcome back to Eye to Eye, the place where we talk about anything and everything Disney. My name's Kyle.
And my name is Jessica. And before we get started tonight, if you haven't already, please consider subscribing to our channel and turning on that notification bell so you don't miss any of our content.
And it's time for just a discussion show where we're just gonna talk about a new movie out, Black Panther Wakanda Forever. Just spoiler filled here, just off the
What?
Spoiler filled. Off the cuff here.
There will be spoilers.
Because we just want to, if you haven't, go check out our original video that we always put out, spoiler free, and they're just kind of rating the movie, the experience, talking about general thoughts about it. But this is like no agenda, just me and Jessica talking about the movie we just saw, because I got feelings about it, man.
Yeah, do you have feelings about all the death? Because there's a lot of death.
By the way, if you didn't hear the spoiler warning at the beginning, spoiler warning, a lot of death in this one.
I didn't say who yet.
Okay, so
I was
this
giving people a chance.
This is your final warning. Get out of here if you haven't seen the film, because we're just gonna go wild.
Okay, so this gave me Spider-Man vibes. Remember when Aunt May died?
When you told me that in the car on the way home, I was like, good night. Why did you bring that up? Because now I'm even more sad, because it was
exactly what I felt like when Queen Ramonda died.
Oh, did not see that coming.
Nope, didn't see that coming at all. Still a little bit ticked about it. I feel like Shuri had enough death. Like, in the first movie, she and T'Challa were grieving their father's death. And then grieving...
You're making me feel bad now.
Think. And then they were grieving, like, figuring out who their uncle was and realizing who Killmonger was. Like, that's a grief, too. Like, that their dad was kind of not this great person that they thought he was, even though he did the right thing, but, la, la, la. So then, T'Challa dies, and then they, Queen Mother becomes the actual queen.
Which I called, by the way. Remember that?
I called.
No.
You said Shuri was going to be queen.
I said she would eventually probably become queen.
Well, she did, because her mom died.
Well, technically, we don't think she is
princess,
queen.
I guess.
She's
but
still princess. We'll get there.
Anyway, we'll get there. But so think about it. So then it's just Shuri and her mom. Out of this 4-person family, we're down to 2, and then they kill off the mom.
Man,
it's just Shuri.
Oh. So I had heard rumors that Angela Bassett was going to just have... I said this in our spoiler-free review, Oscar-worthy. Maybe not, but it is. What a performance.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Just with the grief that she expresses through the character, the
which
power.
She did in the first movie, too.
She did.
Remember when we thought T'Challa was dead in the first movie? Mm-hmm. Like, she had an amazing performance there, too. So the
love, the power. I mean, that was great. Mm-hmm. Like, you don't think of that in a superhero movie like the secondary, because she is a secondary character. She's important.
This movie.
She's important to everything, but it's mainly about T'Challa, now Shuri. And she made it not about her in a bad way, but about her and just like how integral she was to the story and the importance that she was for Shuri. So it's almost like, T'Challa and T'Chaka had their moment in Black Panther 1, mm-hmm. The original, and now it was about their relationship, mother and daughter, which is it's cool.
It was really cool, and it was cool to see, we always want obviously the female superheroes, and we love that. And this kind of was like that female superhero that I wish Captain Marvel had been.
It wasn't like, to me, and I don't know if this may be slightly offensive, but I'm not being it wasn't forced. This was pure,
it was just, look at this family unit that there's nobody left but these female,
and guess
members.
What? They're stronger even, just by themselves. Not that they weren't going to be before. It's such a cool thing to see that power and that strength come out on mm-hmm. the screen when it's not forced. This is the reality of the situation. It almost felt real world like.
It did, because the writers had to do that complete 180 when Chadwick Boseman died, mm-hmm. and actually, okay, now what do we do with this storyline? But if you go back to the first Black Panther and look at Shuri and see all the sciencey stuff that she did, it was perfect. It painted this perfect picture for everything that happened in the second movie. Mm-hmm. When she met the other female mm-hmm. superpower smart girl, it was just perfect that Shuri could relate to her and. Mm-hmm. Hey, we are scientists and we are super, super smart.
It's a testament to Kevin Feige, who's the main producer, the overseer of all the Marvel stuff, about how good he and the rest of the staff are at connecting, using things that they already set up, maybe not even intending them to be that important for the future, but wow, look at it now, what they've done. So just from the Ramonda thing that was the thing I wasn't expecting. And that was like, I almost didn't even, it wasn't that I didn't cry during this movie.
Did you?
Did it get a little misty in there? It got a little misty, especially when the opening credits started and they did the whole basically silent, Marvel Studios logo coming across, and it's nothing but Chadwick scenes.
And the whole theater that we were in was just
like,
silent.
What do you do except sit there and just like sit in it? Like,
and you just feel like you know him. Like, obviously we don't know him as a real person.
That was rough.
Yeah.
And then the last scene where Shuri is like just thinking about him finally sitting in it, like literally, and thinking about their going through that grieving process. And then it's kind of like, hey, everybody, this is your grieving process now too. And kind of a very solemn, quiet song at the end of it until you get to the mid-credit scene. More on that in a second. So a lot of death, a lot of sadness. But I think it was what we all thought about, like was going to happen.
But think about the overall message, right? I loved that they brought Killmonger back. That was another shocking moment for me. I was like, holy crap, that's who she sees when she, goes into that moment. I love that there was this moment of, who are you going to become? Are you going to become your noble brother? Or are you going to become this, like, revenge-seeking fiend?
Yeah.
Horrible person. And I love that came kind of full circle too.
Right.
Like, that she saw him and, it just kind of reminded her when she wanted to seek vengeance for her mom's death, that she didn't.
And we obviously could put ourselves in that situation. None of us.
Yeah, because I think all of us would have reacted like Killmonger.
Right. Or Shuri originally was kind of reacting to it. I want revenge.
Yeah, you killed my mom. I'm killing you.
I want to make them pay. So there's a lot of emotions, good ones, but also, real world hard stuff in this one. I think that's why this movie and the franchise now, because it's 2 movies, really sells itself because it's kind of as real as you can be in a make-believe world. They're really good at putting that in.
There were so many like real feelings, even in a world where there's like flying and stuff.
Okay, speaking of flying, Namor, what do you think about him? Like, did
he's interesting. I think you kind of said it best in our spoiler-free review. Like, it just got a little muddy. Like, you don't figure out how he's different until like 3/4 of the way the movie.
I think Namor was surprising how big a character, at least they made him out to be. And I know comic book fans hear me. I know he's huge for the comics. We can get that, okay? For us, just people that watch the movies and know basic stuff about the lore and stuff like that, Namor's not really that big of a deal. But then the way they built him up in this thing, it almost felt like he needed a movie to tell some of his origin story, before you get to him.
Well, and I like villain origin stories.
Yes.
Like, don't get me wrong. I want to know why you're a villain. I'm still not super clear on it, but I'm trying to be.
Well, and the big thing about Namor is he's what's called an anti-hero. He is truly a guy that is neither good nor bad. He has his own goals, and he's not necessarily trying to do anything bad, but he's willing to do the bad stuff.
Right. He's not trying to be good either.
What he sees as the greater good, right? Yeah. My thing is, I know it's part of the character. I just wish there had been a better way to explain away the whole feet flying thing. Like, that just...
Yeah, that was so weird.
That just it took me out of it. I was like, okay, now we're real comic booky. And listen, I get it's part of his mutation and all that stuff. I would have been fine, and I thought that's what they're going to do in the trailer, is show that, it mutated out, but they, fell off, or they, or as he grew older or something like that. That, to me, that's just one minor complaint. It's just not something that connected with me then. Yeah. However... I was curious when they decided to make, and I may be wrong about this, but in the comics, he's not connected with the Mesoamerican cultures a lot. I could be wrong on that, but I think that's something they applied here for this movie. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. But I really like that, and I like that. I was unsure how the Wakandan culture versus the how to pronounce how do you say the city again? I forgot.
Talakan?
We're going to mispronounce it, but how they would kind of clash with each other, that connection, and then building it around vibranium, I kind of really bought into that.
I did, but I didn't, because it was like, if they have vibranium and the Wakandans have vibranium, why are they attacking the Wakanda? Like, it just was a little bit weird.
It can get a little bit convoluted, but what I mean is, I'm a world builder kind of guy. And so the idea behind Black Panther, Wakanda, is that this comet came down from the sky and left the vibranium there. And that's all they knew about. But,
who came down?
The vibranium came down.
How?
From the sky in the comet. It was in the comet.
Comet.
Yeah, sorry.
I heard you say comic.
No, comet.
And that's why I was like, a comic?
But sometimes, like, comets will come down in clusters or something like that, or not asteroids. Asteroids are up in space still. But you get the idea that something could split off and land somewhere else.
Right.
Like, that, to me, like, built that up a little bit more. And so it's like, okay, I'm on board now. I see, like, how we got to here and why this is, they're similar, but different at the same time.
Yeah, it was just very interesting.
Looking
back, there were some moments, and like that moment at the beginning of the movie when people are fighting to get the vibranium, right? Like, I guess it painted the picture that everybody wants the Wakanda vibranium, but it was just like this added muddiness that was unnecessary.
So, the rumors, the speculation was there was going to be a bigger, badder person behind all the conflict in it, and that was really going to be something that came out towards the end there.
And they took that out.
I don't know that they took that out. I don't know if it was ever there, but that was some rumors.
Yeah.
I think that really would have helped this. And, some people had talked about maybe it being a Doctor Doom type of character.
Yeah.
Fantastic. For kind of wetting his teeth at being a big bad villain, kind of orchestrating everything. To me, I actually think that might have kind of helped this a little bit if he was orchestrating, getting the USA involved in this.
Right.
French involved in this, and kind of think like he's pulling the strings behind it. But also, you kind of understand why they didn't want that in there, because this was our tribute to Chadwick.
Yeah, of course.
I'm not saying it held it back in any way.
No.
It just is one of those things that I felt like could have been missing.
It was just
all that.
Yeah, there are just some interesting things. But overall, loved the movie.
Yes.
Like, we'll definitely watch it again.
Yes.
For sure.
In credit scene, T'Challa has a son. His name is T'Challa.
And his name is T'Challa.
Like, you said you weren't surprised by that.
No. Honestly, it was like, yep, makes perfect sense. Especially that they named him T'Challa too, because, and Nakia kind of referenced that T'Challa knew he was sick in the movie.
Yeah. A lot of secrets being kept in this family, like it seems like, you know?
So kind of like a typical family, right? But, yeah, not shocked that they gave him a son at all. And to now, be the heir to the throne. Of course.
And it makes a lot of sense now that when you're sitting back, like, okay, that's an obvious thing to do. But at the time, it kind of like shocked me a little bit. And then...
Oh, you're so gullible.
Here's the thing that I loved about it too. And this goes back to Kevin Feige. So now, and this is just me thinking about it, what they've done is set up a world if this continues going for years, which I think most Marvel fans hope it does.
Oh, yeah.
You can get back to a world where T'Challa gets to be king again, gets to be the Black Panther again, but it's his son. And I think I am someone that likes things to stay close to the original concept, even though I just, dogged the whole Namor floaty wings things on his feet, but...
We can still like the movie.
Exactly. But my point is, like, you can bring that back around full circle now. And and they don't have to, but now they have the option to. So that was a brilliant job by them overall. And it was a nice little...
It was obvious.
End cap. Yes, it was fine. It was fine. It was obvious. But it was an end cap on all the sorrow, all the grief. Yep. Just a little bit of hope that he's still with us.
And that's it. It's the legacy, right? Like in real life, when a parent passes away or somebody that we love, like we look for that legacy, whether it's a child or the legacy that they leave in our hearts, like all the emotions, right?
Just bringing it all around, aren't you?
I'm just saying, like this movie made you feel all of those real life feelings of grief. So happy that he's got a legacy.
Final thing, and this is one other critique, and you know me, I like to idealize like final scenes and stuff like that. Like I talk about Avengers Endgame, where I just wanted Peggy and Steve to walk into the hall together and them not show us dancing, just them seeing each other. Yeah. Because it just almost is like that stuff you don't see is almost better. I would have loved if Shuri had like gone to sleep after she was at peace with the death, like, just sleep at night. And the last in her dreams, she goes to that purple field, the afterlife scene, and she just sees T'Challa off in the distance walking towards her. Like, not him, because we can't.
Yeah, but then we would have anticipated that he was walking towards her to take her to heaven because she was dead.
Well, maybe, but like that's why I specified she was clearly like laying down to go to sleep at peace,
I'm just saying,
kind of thing.
Think about Marvel.
I know, but I'm just saying. But think about how cool that would have been to see her smile and you see a silhouette coming off towards her.
I mean, yeah, but now he's got a son.
I know, that's just me idealizing things. All right, that was our brief discussion, spoiler-filled, about the movie. Again, if you'd like to see how we rated it, all that kind of stuff, go back and watch that version of it, because it is spoiler-free there too. If you've made it through this movie or this video here without being spoiled, I don't know how you did. Appreciate you guys listening to this video today. Until we assemble again,
May the force be with you.
and we'll see you real soon.
Bye, guys.
Wakanda forever!